On February 4, 2025, a U.S. military plane took off from Texas. This was no ordinary flight. It carried 205 Indian nationals, all facing deportation. This marked the first time since Trump's return to the presidency that a military aircraft was used for such a purpose. The plane, a massive C-17 Globemaster, usually used for troop transport, became a symbol of America's hardening stance on immigration. The sight of a military plane used for deportation sent shockwaves through the Indian community in the U.S. and back home. Many drew parallels to the mass deportations during times of conflict, raising concerns about the increasing securitization of immigration. The use of a C-17, a plane designed for combat zones, seemed particularly jarring in the context of sending civilians back to their home country. The destination of this unusual flight was Amritsar, India, a city known for its historical significance and cultural vibrancy. For the deportees, however, Amritsar represented a forced return, a severance from lives they had built in the U.S. Their arrival back in India was met with mixed reactions, a sense of relief for some, coupled with uncertainty and anxiety about their future. This deportation wasn't a unilateral move by the U.S. It was the result of cooperation between the U.S. and Indian governments. Both countries meticulously verified the citizenship of each deportee, ensuring they were indeed Indian nationals. This process involved sharing biometric data, comparing records, and conducting interviews, highlighting the growing collaboration between the two nations on immigration matters. India, under Prime Minister Modi, has increasingly signaled its willingness to accept its citizens residing illegally abroad, provided their citizenship is confirmed. This approach is a departure from the past, where India was often reluctant to take back deportees, leading to diplomatic tensions. The recent deportation suggests a shift in India's stance, prioritizing a more cooperative approach with the U.S. on immigration. This collaborative effort, while seemingly smooth, has also raised concerns about due process and the rights of those deported. Were the deportees given adequate opportunity to challenge their deportation orders? Were their individual circumstances and claims to asylum considered? These questions linger, even as the two governments present a united front on the issue of illegal immigration. This mass deportation is not an isolated incident. It's part of a larger crackdown on illegal immigration by the Trump administration. Since returning to office, Trump has doubled down on his hardline immigration policies, focusing on border security, stricter enforcement of immigration laws, and the use of military resources for deportations. The message is clear. America is no longer a welcoming place for undocumented migrants. The Trump administration has been vocal about its intention to deport millions of undocumented immigrants residing in the U.S. This deportation drive has instilled fear and uncertainty in immigrant communities nationwide. The use of a military plane, a symbol of force and intimidation, further amplifies this message, signaling a more aggressive approach towards immigration enforcement. This deportation wave has particularly impacted the Indian community, the third largest group of undocumented migrants in the U.S., after Mexico and El Salvador. With an estimated 725,000 undocumented Indian nationals at risk, the recent deportation is likely the tip of the iceberg. This has created a climate of fear and anxiety within the Indian community, with many fearing separation from their families and the loss of their livelihoods. The deportation of 205 Indians on a military plane is a watershed moment in U.S.-India relations. It underscores the Trump administration's commitment to its hardline immigration policies, even if it means using extraordinary measures. The deportation also highlights the growing cooperation between the U.S. and India on immigration matters, a trend likely to continue in the coming years. This event occurred just before Prime Minister Modi's visit to the U.S., adding another layer of complexity to the diplomatic dance between the two nations. President Trump has publicly stated that Prime Minister Modi assured him of India's cooperation in taking back illegal Indian immigrants. This suggests that immigration will be a key topic of discussion during Modi's visit, potentially leading to further agreements and collaborations on this front. The long-term implications for U.S.-India relations remain to be seen. While the two countries seem to be finding common ground on immigration, the use of a military plane for deportation could strain relations, particularly among the Indian diaspora in the U.S. This event serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of these policies and the uncertainties that lie ahead for U.S.-India relations in a world grappling with migration and national identity,